on in to another episode of Getting Wild with Terry and Friends. I'm Terry, Nick beside me, Tim beside him, occupancy bottom left, Will bottom right, and we are ready to break down some Friday sports. We actually have a little bit of everything except NFL, but there's CFL. So for other people that wanted football, there's college football, there's NBA, there's baseball, there's hockey, there's basically anything you could want to bet on today. So we'll get over the other picks after we do the 3-game hockey slate. But as we usually do, we start off the show and look at the current record here. Baseball, profitable all the way through, or overall. NFL, nothing has changed there. I don't think anybody gave anything for NFL yesterday. Or Bryant had his team total for the Cardinals, which lost by 1 point, which kind of sucks. But NHL, best bets now up over 4 units. Occupancy, you're leading best bets and over under. Tim, you're leading dog of the day. Overall, hockey a little bit down, but doing pretty good.
I finally won my first one last night. My jinx is hopefully over.
Yeah, Nick got his first best bet in hockey yesterday, so that's good. First of hopefully many, Nick. Hopefully many. NBA overall profitable. Not many picks here, but I'm sure that will change as time goes on. I don't know what just happened there, but that is the current standings for the show. We'll go to the comment here. Didn't overs parlay, and Bruins Ducks was the only one to screw me. I know. I was on that over, and that was really depressing. That was depressing. I hope that doesn't repeat tomorrow, because heads up, I'll be on the over in Boston, Minnesota, and we all know that I'll be taking the dog in the Minnesota Wild, but we'll get to that tomorrow. Today, we are going to look at 3 NHL games. We'll have the other pick section. But if we're looking at the 3 NHL games, you could look at them as rivalry games. Because we have, obviously, the Battle of Florida. Then we have Detroit and Chicago, who were former rivals for many years. And then the Kraken and the Avalanche. The Kraken obviously doesn't have any rivals yet, but the Avalanche could definitely become one. Vancouver could become one. So it's kind of rivalry Wednesday, except on a Friday.
No. It's only right that Seattle's rivals, the San Jose Sharks. So
yep, I was going to say that.
Deep sea. But that's just my input on it. That I'm not really. I just figured I'd throw that one out there. Sharks and Kraken are the rivals. Let's get it.
Yeah, our rivals. I don't know. They develop mostly through playoff battles. That's where rivalries usually develop. So I don't know if we're going to be seeing Sharks and Kraken in the playoffs together for a bit. So we may not get used to that. Ron Crawford, welcome on in.
Crawford.
Nice to see you. But we'll jump into the first game, and that's the Battle of Florida. We got Tampa, Bay Lightning, and the Florida Panthers here. You can currently find Tampa minus 104 to minus 111. Florida minus 105 to minus 118. I see 6.5s and I see 7s here, kind of split in this game. And this is a game that I just have trouble with. Looking at it last night, I could see either side winning. I lean towards the over, but I didn't like the price for it. I guess we're seeing these totals. We might be seeing 7s on a more regular basis now. That might be more of a regular thing. Offense is really up again this year. So we may have to get used to seeing 7s. We may not see. Well, have we seen a 5.5 this year? I don't think we have.
I think we saw one opening night. Or not opening. Yeah, opening night. I had over 5.5 New York and Tampa.
And I want to say Nashville, San Jose opened up.
Yeah, Nashville, San Jose. Those 2 games were 5.5s as well.
Yeah.
Well, we might not see it again for a while, based on what's been happening lately. But this game, obviously, 6.5 or 7. I just don't have a real good opinion in this game. I think it's maybe the draw. But when these two teams have faced each other in the past, there tends to be one-sided wins, and they sometimes go over heavily. So um, that's basically my only thoughts there. Nick, Lightning, Panthers, Battle of Florida. What do you think here?
Yeah, I'm getting up my numbers real quick. Where is it? Is this it? Nope, that is not it. Cool.
He is starting. It's Vasilevsky and Bobrovsky.
Yes. I got to the over 6.5 in this game. Both these teams have been projecting over with their expected goals. 6 of the 8 combined games these two teams have played have gone over 6.5 expected goals. So that's kind of where I'm looking at this one here. It's just offense. So over 6.5 is what I got it at yesterday.
All right. Tim, the Battle of Florida. What do you think here?
I didn't really get to that. I would probably have to go same kind of thought process as Nick. We've seen a lot of overs between these two teams. They're going to go at it. They don't like each other. I would have to lean kind of towards Tampa just because it's a pick 'em, even though the records are kind of skewed. So I think a lot of people will see Florida at 3-1 and pick 'em and want to go after it, but nothing really in this game.
All right. Occupancy. I know you like this game. Lightning and Panthers. What do you think here?
Yeah, this is a rematch situation. Tampa swept Florida in the playoffs. And I think Florida's going to have something to say about it. But I'm trying to stick to the stats here because opinions are like wind. They come and go. If you're looking at shots for, Florida has a slight edge over Tampa in the first 4 out of 4 games, both averaging over 30 a game. With respect to goals, Florida's put up 4, 3, 4, and 3 in their 4, where Tampa's put up 2, 2, 5, and 1. So it looks like Florida has the edge to me early out the gate, just in the way they've been performing. The way I chose to get involved with this game was to take Florida on the money line at -110 in a game where the home teams have been crushing the Lightning in the beginning. If you look at the Pittsburgh game, I think this is kind of a Friday night situation in Florida where it's going to get probably pretty rowdy. We saw what was happening last year in the playoffs with a couple of those things as well. But I'm also trying to stick to the stats. So Gustav Forsling, big Swede on the Florida Panthers, didn't take optional skate this morning, but I still bet him to take his shot prop. 1, 4, 5, and 5 in his first 4 games. They were hanging the 2.5 at right around +100. They moved it 8 cents down from the game before I got it at the 2.5. Matthew Tkachuk, he's been firing on all ends. I don't like betting 3.5s all that much, but I did tonight with him. I think he gets it done. Just taking a look at what he's been doing. He does a lot of things that don't get on the score sheet. He draws penalties. I think he drew like 2 against Buffalo, and then 1 with Philly as well. 4-4, 6-4 in his first 4 games. I mean, they brought him in for a reason. So those are 2 guys that I'm just keeping an eye on. I was looking into save props. Historically, Vasilevsky has hit his is pretty high today at a 30.5. Last year, I'm seeing 31, 28, 39. And then in the playoffs, each game, he had over 34 saves in all those games. So I think Florida, even though the team is a little different, they haven't changed the game plan too much. They're still recording a lot of shots. So the Vasilevsky one, I'm just like, it's in my bet slip. I haven't pulled the trigger on it yet. I kind of want to think about it a little more and see what kind of action we get on this card. But those are the props I like. That's the side. With respect to a total, I could see it going either way, but I'm probably not going to be betting the under tonight just because I've seen Bobrovsky let up 3 or 4. His goals against average, if you check out Terry's preview shows, has gone up. So I don't know. He you never know with him. But this should be a really exciting game, definitely for hockey fans and new people of the sport. This is definitely one of the type of games you want to be watching tonight.
For sure. Yeah, it should be a very good game. Will, Lightning Panthers, Battle Florida. What do you think here?
Yeah, so I lean towards Florida. I have about a 6.5% edge on the Panthers tonight. Tampa Bay's offense hasn't been great this year. I have them projecting about 2.5 expected goals per game, and that's against defenses that are worse than Florida. Philadelphia, Columbus. I'm just kind of surprised that this number stayed around Pick'em today. I thought it was going to move towards minus 125, minus 130. My other lean is towards the under. I do have this projected at 7 goals, but this year's projections have it at 5.3. So that's just something to look at. I'm not going to play it, but I do think these teams are going to lean a little bit more towards the under, especially Florida without Huberdeau this year. I just think they're a little bit of a different team, less dynamic.
And they have a head coach who's more focused with defense as well. We'll move on along to the Red Wings and the Blackhawks. This will be a good game. I really like this game as well. You can get Detroit anywhere from minus 115 to minus 125. Chicago, minus 105 to plus 100. 6.5s right across the board in this one. So odds makers are pretty much in agreement with this game. For me, I get it. Detroit has some injury issues. Obviously, Jacob Vrana is on the player substance abuse thing. So he is having issues. And then they're also without, I'm blanking on his name.
Bertuzzi.
They're also out. Yeah, Bertuzzi. They're also out without Bertuzzi as well. But this Blackhawks team is awful. And yes, they were able to beat the Sharks, but that's not too impressive for me to beat the Sharks. So I like Detroit here. I will be the Blackhawks home opener. So maybe the Blackhawks get a little bit of a jump early from that. But Detroit has improved in all areas of the game this offseason. The Blackhawks kind of the opposite. Two teams going opposite directions. I'll take the road favorite here in this one. I also have Michael Rasmussen over half a point, which is plus 125. He's been doing well for Detroit. I think 3 points in the first 3 games. So plus 125 for him to get a point, I think is great value. And then Dominik Kubalik, who the Blackhawks pretty much said, we don't want you, like, get out of here, go to free agent. That was a shocking move, in my opinion, them not trying to keep a young forward that can score. But they let him go, and he's plus 110 to get a point against his former team. So I'm on that as well. And the Detroit money line, which I got for minus 114. I like the Red Wings here. Nick, Red Wings, Blackhawks. What do you think of this one?
This is a 1-800-GAMBLER game, I think. I'm not a huge fan of this matchup. I would lean Chicago in this game. I feel like this line's a little short, and I think that's the books maybe telling us something. I do think the Detroit Red Wings are a much improved team this year, but are they a team that we can trust laying a price on the road is the question. I lean Blackhawks. Did not bet the game, though.
Oh, right. Against certain teams like Chicago, I think they should be the favorite on the road, but based on their previous years, I can understand why you'd be a little nervous with them. But Tim, Red Wings, Blackhawks, what do you think here?
Yep, this is where my play of the day is going to be, and I'm taking the puck line on Detroit plus 210. And my main explanation for this one is the Blackhawks suck.
Quite the handicapping there.
Yeah, that's all I got. I'm on Detroit puck line. It's my play of the day. Currently 4-3 with that, up 6 units because I'm taking puck lines at plus anywhere from plus 160 to I've gone all the way up to plus 230. So if I'm doing hockey plays, I'm going to take some big plus money, and I've been taking some puck lines, some hitting them. So play of the day is Detroit puck line for me.
All right. Sounds good to me. Occupancy, Red Wings, Blackhawks. What do you think of this one?
Yeah, so far, I just want to make mention that whatever was said before me is really sharp. Those two player props that Terry mentioned um, are a good look, Rasmussen and Kubalik. And then I think Nick said it really well with the line being short for Chicago. Is the book's telling us something, in my opinion, as well. Um, there's a couple people in our community who are big Hawks fans. I was listening earlier, and they're saying, even if they are a losing team, they just like getting this one win against Detroit. Patrick Kane's maybe last game in a sweater, the United Center. Um, I just don't think they're going to get it done, to be honest. Like when you look at the teams, the Red Wings have like these playoff hopes. They got all that going for them. They put up 4 against Kings, 5 against the Red Wings, 3 against Montreal in the start of their season here. It's been respectable opponents, but not the cream of the crop. And I think they're going to play a similar way tonight. So I think Tim's puck line look is good. If I was taking a side, that's the way I would be going. Just taking a look at the Detroit lineup. They got a couple people who want to be playing in the NHL. Young guys from overseas, Soderblom, Sundqvist. They're playing really well. Like it's a very interesting team to look at. I wish we could get a better price rather than a pick 'em. But what's the Red Wings team total as? 3.5 juiced or? I got it up as well, but 3.5
Plus
plus
122,
110.
plus 114.
Yeah, that could be if you're looking at like a half unit play here. That's maybe what I would be going with.
All right. Will, Red Wings, Blackhawks. What do you think of this matchup?
I'm staying away, but I did notice I have this projected for 5.7 goals when I weight last year and this year together. But if you just look at this year, I have Chicago expected goals for and goals against in all their games at 4.3, and I have Detroit at 4.6. Those are bottom 5 in the NHL. So I would look at the under 6.5. We saw this last night with Ottawa and Washington. It's just two bad teams, and when two bad teams play, they go under normally. So that's my angle for this game. I would have been on Chicago at plus money, but that's obviously gone now.
Yeah, I think it's like plus 101 or plus 100.
I mean,
barely, yeah. Yeah, exactly. But moving on to the third and final game of the night, the Seattle Kraken and the Colorado Avalanche. In this one, you can find Seattle anywhere from plus 180 to plus 215. Colorado's minus 233 to minus 250. 6.5s and 7s available in this one. 6.5 was like minus 120, minus 125 earlier. Now you're looking at minus 135, minus 127 in some spots. When it gets to that price, even though I do like the over, it's ultimately a pass for me at that price. I don't want to lay minus 130 for a total. But what I did do earlier is take the Kraken team total over 2.5. I saw one book that had it for minus 104 in regulation, but I got it for minus 110, just full on team total for the game, including overtime. While I think if this game does go to overtime, I think it's more of a 4-4 type game. So I do think that Seattle will get their team total in regulation. I just took minus 110, minus 104. There's not that much of a difference for the extra insurance. So I took Seattle team total over 2.5. I have Oliver Borkstrand to get a point at minus 114. Matthew Beniers to get a point at minus 118. And Andre Burakovsky to get a point against his former team, the Avalanche, minus 110. I like all three of those. I may add some power play props here as well for the Kraken. Colorado is the worst team in the league when it comes to the penalty kill, just behind Vancouver. And I think the Kraken, I don't have their power play numbers up, but I think the Kraken will get their fair share of goals in this one. So Kraken team total over 2.5. Borkstrand, Matthew Beniers, Andre Burakovsky, all to get a point, anywhere from -110, -115. Nick, Kraken and Avalanche. What do you think about this game?
Yeah. Let's see. They've had. I don't want to say. Oh, that doesn't include major penalties. Okay, never mind. They're 31.6% on the power play so far this year, and they've had 58 minutes of power play time. So I don't know. I don't know whether or not that is, but this is an interesting spot for me because my numbers suggest that we should see some regression down towards the under in this one. I took under in this match, and I know that's going to be a scary play. And I'm not somebody who bets a lot of plays that I'm super comfortable betting. But I feel like sometimes if you're comfortable betting something, then it probably is not the right side, I guess the way to call it. I had this game more like 6.25. So I see a little bit of value on the under when we're looking at it here. And all 8 of the 9 games so far these two teams have played, more goals have been scored in those games than the expected goals said there should be. So I'm expecting some positive regression from both goaltenders and both defenses in this game to see maybe a little bit of a lower scoring matchup here, maybe 4-2, something along those lines. I am taking under 6.5, and I know it's scary, but that's where I'm looking at this one. Under 6.5, Kraken and Avalanche.
All right. Well, everyone kind of thought Boston and Anaheim would go over, and it didn't. So it's very possible that it could go under. We'll see. Tim, Kraken, Avalanche. What do you think about this game?
Release the Kraken.
I knew you were going to say that.
I sorry. I'm not betting this game. I have no interest in it. If I'm going after anything in this game, it's probably the Kraken, just because big plus money. The Avalanche puck line's only plus 106, and that's the best you can get it at. So I have zero interest in going after this game. Obviously, Nick has the under on the site, so I'll ride that out with him. But I really have no interest in this game.
All right. Occupancy, Kraken, and Avalanche. What do you think in this one?
Yeah, it's a hard game to cap. I mean, it's a great game to go out and watch somewhere, be watching with your buddies, or talking about it in the group text. Like, this would be a great one for that Friday night down in Denver. I was looking at the Kraken schedule as just a way to cap this game, and they go over to Chicago after this. And then they go home and play Buffalo and Vancouver. So to me, this game has like a couple different like scripts and like narratives, but I kind of either see a blowout or Kraken treating this like a big playoff game and going out and, having like a scoreless first 10 minutes or something. And then, seeing like a 3-2 type game or something, or, and listen, if Grubauer, he got the start. Something I kept an eye on was Hextall. The coach sat him in the first game they played against each other. Maybe looking out for him a little bit. I don't know. I don't read so much into game scripts. I try to just take a look at the data and kind of what these teams have been doing. Seattle has scored 3, 1, 2, and 4. Whereas the Avalanche have been losing games on the money line, but they've scored 3, 6, 3, 5. So I don't know. I still think the way the books want you to bet this is Avalanche -0.5 in the first period. It's a plus 105. You take all the full game results out of the equation and just kind of bet on one of these big blowout periods that the Avalanche can do, certainly. And you've seen this in the playoffs year after year where they come out to like 3-4 goal leads really early on. So this could definitely be a game that ends up like that. I'll be on the over 6.5. I just think, I know Nick was saying the advanced stats could point towards an under, but I think it's still early in the season, and I think the data is kind of still, you're technically supposed to have at least 10 or 30, sample sizes when you do certain like summary statistics and shit like that, if you look at that stuff. So it's really early on. So I think it really could go either way. I just with a Friday night early season nationally televised game. Is it nationally televised? Does anyone know?
I have no clue.
Not sure.
So I don't know if that makes a difference. I know Earl's look at that with the over unders, the NFL and stuff, and
That's primetime football games, totally separate than hockey.
no, I know. I was just saying some people could look into. I don't know if anyone does, but yeah, I think Avalanche cover. But I'd be looking to get involved with that -0.5 in the first, and the full game over.
ESPN Plus, by the way.
Okay, thanks.
All right. Will, Kraken, Avalanche. What do you think here?
Yeah, my model didn't really make it a play, but I was surprised when I saw FanDuel open this up at +285. Like I had to do a double take just because the Kraken should not be close to +300 right now in the NHL, in my opinion. If anything, I would go with the Kraken under team total, but I don't love it. I have it projected for around 2.15. And so that's really the only play I have in this game. I still have it around 6.25 goals. So I don't think I'd play the under there, but I would lean towards the game under. And I think I'd like the Kraken team total under. Kind of like the Sharks yesterday. I really, we should have hit that team total under at -105, but overtime happens.
All right. Well, we're against each other there, but it happens. It happens.
And
best
Richie
spot,
P. Yeah, I was just about to say that.
yeah, best spot for this matchup is props. Yeah, if you think it's gonna be a high scoring game, like you can get good price on the Kraken props for sure.
I'm on Bjorkstrand. I didn't mention. He's out the gate hot. I parlayed him. I dropped it down to 1.5. But definitely something to keep an eye out on Twitter. People post props all the time over there. So just follow all of us. I know Terry puts our handles in the description. I appreciate everyone.
Awesome.
I forgot to mention this during the Tampa game, but I took Kucherov 2 points and Stamkos 1 point. The last, I think, 24 games that Kucherov has had 2 points, 22 of them, Stamkos got a point. So you can see heavy correlation there. And I believe it was priced at +230 at Caesars earlier today.
All right. Richie was saying which game is going to be the trap game. And then he asked if it's going to be the Avs. Liam thinks it's going to be the Lightning.
I think it's the middle game, and the Blackhawks win.
Yeah, I know you do. And hey,
I didn't bet it, but that would be what I would say.
Yeah. There doesn't have to be a trap game. I don't know. I think if people are doing parlays, I don't know if I could be wrong on this. Wouldn't they have more NBA action in parlays because there's a lot more games? Maybe I'm wrong,
but when you're looking at, is there going to be a slaughter game? It's usually a late night favorite. Tonight, if you're looking at the NBA, I know Tim is going to mention this when we get to the NBA, the slaughter game is going to be the Warriors.
Well, we'll have to see. BetStamp, use code WILD in the referral code section. Obviously, BetStamp is what I bring up to show all the odds. You can find all the different odds at the different books to make sure you're getting the best line. Follow me there at Let's Go Wild Picks, and you can get my picks as soon as I bet them. But going on to other picks, we have the other sports. With NBA, for me, as I said on the other show the other day, I want more numbers before I jump into the NBA. The NBA is not one of my main sports to cap. I'm much more of a trends guy. I know, obviously, a much different team now, but the Utah Jazz, I think it was 2 years ago, they were covering the spread like 28 games in a row, or something crazy like that.
Crazy. Yeah.
So
not
I was on
the
them
same
for
team at all. The core is gone.
Yes, I know, completely different teams, but that's what I like with the NBA is to jump on trends like that. But nothing for me with the NBA right now. Baseball, I'll be honest, I did not even look at the game. I am done with baseball the rest of the season now. I would like to see the Padres win just because of what the Phillies did to me the other day. I'm not a fan of the Phillies anymore at all. Not that I was anyway, but and then CFL. I think Hamilton wins the game. I don't know if they cover 5.5. So I'm ultimately off the game. And then BC Edmonton. Edmonton's really bad. So I again like BC to win. You could parlay Hamilton and BC both on the money line. Obviously, the both the big favorites. I don't know what the odds for that would be, but um, ultimately both games are a pass. So for me, it's only the two hockey games today. Nick, other picks in any of the other sports? What do you think?
I wouldn't talk you off of backing BC because Edmonton's yet to win a game at home this year. Actually, I think they finally covered a game at home last week. But yeah, for the other picks, starting in baseball, to quote Anchorman, I'm Ron Burgundy, and fuck you, San Diego. I'm going to take the Phillies first five. I'm just going to continue riding that. They choked that away last game, but I'm gonna go right back on it today. So that's where I'm looking at for baseball. Scares me. I have more NBA action than I do NHL action today, and that's just because of the slate size. I like that. I like that Miami Boston game. I'm on the Heat plus 2.5 and the under 219. For that one, I'm on Memphis and Houston over the 232.5. I'm on Minnesota laying the points again, laying 8.5 against. Forgot who they're even facing.
Utah.
Utah. Yeah. So I'm on Minnesota there, and then finishing out with the Trailblazers plus the points against the Suns to close out the night.
All right, Tim, other picks? What do you think?
Yeah, I'm not betting the MLB game. The only MLB plays for the rest of the year are going to be Houston money line or Houston run line. Because when they end up going undefeated the entire playoffs, we won't be surprised, and I'll cash a lot of money. They're 5-0 so far, and they're 2 games and 4 games, so 6 games away, a little bit less than halfway there. You're getting them at plus money tomorrow, by the way. I wanted to throw that one out there. Plus 135 for the Astros money line tomorrow. But I'll be on the Astros the entire route. As for the NL, I lean San Diego. I just not going to bet them each day. I don't feel as confident with that one as I do with the Astros. As for the NBA, it's a 11-game slate, so I decided to keep it easy, and I have 8 plays. And when it comes to it, 4 of them are kind of a like a system type deal that I wanted to try, and that was fading a team that covered versus a team that didn't cover the game before. So when it came to it, I'm on the I'm on the Brooklyn Nets for that reason. I got a minus 2.5 versus Toronto. Toronto covered their first game. Brooklyn got blown out. I'm on the Heat money line. They lost straight up to the Bulls in their first game, and the Celtics won their first game. So Miami looked bad. I'm going to jump on them. That also drew me over towards the Minnesota Timberwolves, which they did win. They did not cover their first game. And the Utah Jazz, I think everybody's going to be overhyping that first game when they won by 21 points to Denver. And I think that the T-Wolves blow them out. I wore my Wolves jersey today. I think that's a blowout spot. And the other one that's part of the system is what Nick mentioned earlier, the Slaughter game. Oh my God, Denver just lost by 21 to the Jazz when Golden State just won by a lot in their first game. Yeah, give me the Nuggets outright. I think that's the Slaughter game of the night. Everybody putting Golden State on their parlays. I don't think it's going to work out for you well. Those are the 4 that are working with the system. I'm also on the Pacers because the Spurs are going to suck. I'm also on the Bulls at even money. They moved up a little bit because injuries and stuff. I don't care. I'm on the Bulls. I think they're the better team. I'm on the Detroit Pistons plus the points, and I'm on the Portland Trailblazers plus the points as well. Those are my 8 NBA plays for tonight. So let's make some money. And then Western Kentucky in football.
All right, there we go. Tim obviously loves NBA, so expect a lot of picks from him all year long. Occupancy, other picks, anything else in any of the other sports that you like today?
Yeah, it'd be cool to collaborate a tiny bit on the NBA. I won't go on for too long about it, but I'd be interested to hear one angle I have in the late game. It's going to be the Portland Trailblazers game. Did you guys get to cap that?
Yes, I have a play on it.
I'm on Portland.
Yep.
Okay. I don't have a side or a total, but I've been looking at Anthony Simons to hit his player props. Is the Chauncey Billups? Did he go over to Portland to be coach?
Boy. Oh, as a coach. Oh, as a coach. I'm
Does he
not
still
entirely
play?
sure. I was about to say Chauncey Billups. I remember him playing with Carmelo Anthony on the Nuggets. I'm like, whoa, okay, hold on.
He was on the
No,
Pistons
I
all
honestly,
those years with those good games.
Yeah.
You know?
I don't entirely know
Okay.
the coaching situation there.
No, and again, he's just a younger player I'd been watching, and his point total is just low. It's at a 19. I'm seeing if you want the juice, and then if you want the 21, you get a little plus money. But I was just looking at his game logs, and over the end of last season, I mean, he's putting up 19, 29, 30, 31.
He's gonna get a lot more run this year than he did last year because there's no more CJ McCollum in Portland.
Yeah, that's going to be the 1-2 is Lillard and Simons, and especially when Simons gets to run the second unit a little bit, I definitely think that's going to be a good spot for him. So yeah, I would take his player prop over. I don't hate that.
Right on. And I know about the team defense on the other side, but if I shouldn't worry about it, then I'll make
Phoenix. They're hit or miss. They came back from being down like 20 points against Dallas first game. So
yeah, I saw the game on 4-Hour Fitness. But yeah, so that's the one. I like the NBA. I don't cap it frequently, but I do like talking about it, and it's fun to watch sometimes. Other sports, baseball. I'm still invested in the Padres' future prop, but that's looking pretty bleak because I had the Yankees in a 2-teamer to win their NL and AL. So that's just the one ticket I had. I mean, it is what it is. We don't get all hyped up on $20 tickets, but if they're close to hitting, that is what it is. I got to look at this game. I like to be backing Musgrove when I can. I think he's a strong pitcher, and I've been caught backing Suarez before. So I'd have to lean towards San Diego because recent memory, I believe Suarez pitched against the Cubbies late in the season, and I lost like 2 or 3 units on that. So I'll be looking to get those back with Musgrove. Other sports, football, nothing for Friday night football. I like the CFL. When I can, and maybe go watch a game or cap it with you guys like later on, or just see what you guys have been putting out and tail you or something as well.
This is a tough week for CFL. It's the last week of the regular season.
Yeah, and college football into I know there's a lot of games out there, so definitely check out each of their pages because I know that they're looking at that as well. Hockey, I got one hockey play for you from overseas. It's going to be the Pelicans Helsinki game in the Liga. Helsinki is coming off a back-to-back, and they lost 1-2 to JYP, who's one of notoriously the worst teams in the league. And the Pelicans are kind of like always a fringe 500 team that can sometimes, get the win or at least the team total over 2.5. Their money line's at -130 right now. I'm gonna make it onto my card. I don't know if I'd give it out like publicly, but I'll be betting it. And yes, sports is awesome with you guys.
All right. Well, you did give it out publicly, so there you go on the show, but it's all good. Will,
like for
other
records,
picks? Yeah, for records, yeah, sure. Will, other picks? What do you think here?
Yeah, right now I just have the 3 picks. The Panthers one, the Kucherov Stamkos one, and one for tomorrow. It was Kings money line plus 140. I know it's not I got it last night on FanDuel. It's not available anymore. Yeah. I just want to say, follow me on Twitter. I don't have a lot of these, but we'll have a few where you just won't see the number again. It won't ever be posted. So come check out my page, NHL Tip 6.
Will's link is in the description below. So is Occupancy, Tim, Nick, me, everybody else that comes on the show sometimes. Everyone's link is down below. So give everyone a follow. We'll go to the best bet segment here as we usually do. And we'll start with over-under for totals. For me, my favorite total of the day, my only total of the day, Seattle team total over 2.5 at -110. Nick, you're going Colorado, Seattle under 7. IceX is going Colorado, Seattle over 6.5. Tim, you are going with Utah Jazz team total under 109.5. Ryan is going with Philadelphia, San Diego over 7.5. Occupancy, you're going Colorado, Seattle over 6.5. Will, you don't have a total written down. Is there any totals that you like today?
Not that I'm going to put on, but I would lean the under in Detroit, Chicago.
All right. And then we will go on next to dog of the day. For me, none. No dogs for me today. So I'm not going to put one down. My lean would be the Seattle Kraken. But I don't know if they beat Colorado in this one, but I'll be rooting for them. Nick, you're going Miami Heat plus 125. Tim, you're going Denver Nuggets plus 180. Occupancy, you are going Portland Trail Blazers, which is plus 180. IceX is going with the Blackhawks plus 101. Will, no dog today. All right. And then going on to best bets. For me, Detroit Red Wings money line minus 115. Nick, you're going Philadelphia Phillies first 5 money line plus 107. Tim, you're taking the Red Wings minus 1.5 plus 220. Ryan is going with Florida Tampa Bay over 6.5. Occupancy, you're going with Florida Panthers money line. IceX is taking Cale Makar anytime goal plus 235. And Will, you're also going with Florida Panthers money line minus 110. And that is today's show. Make sure to smash the like button if you're new to the channel. Hit the subscribe button if you're new to the channel. Smash the like button if you like the content. Tomorrow's show will be on at noon to go over the hockey slate and the normal slate. Obviously, heavily
tomorrow.
Yeah, a lot of games. So we'll be on at 12. You can also get Tim and Nick's show. The link to their YouTube channel is also in the description below. They'll be on a bit earlier, but focusing on college football mostly, right? So
yeah,
make sure to follow everybody, and we will see you again tomorrow for another episode of Getting Wild with Terry and Friends. Best of luck today, guys. Have a good one.